The turnaround of Liam Harris. At 23 years old, Liam Harris felt like his life was a cruel joke. He spent most days in his tiny apartment, scrolling endlessly through social media, watching his peers celebrate milestones he hadn't even come close to achieving. College graduations, new jobs, vacations abroad, each post was a reminder of how little he had accomplished. His own life was a stark contrast. After barely graduating high school, Liam had bounced between dead-end jobs. He tried community college but dropped out after a semester, unable to keep up with the workload while juggling shifts at a rundown diner. His friends had drifted away over the years, pursuing brighter futures, while he stayed stuck in the same town, in the same cycle of mediocrity. On his 23rd birthday, Liam sat alone on his couch, staring at the flickering light of a single candle stuck in a cupcake he'd bought for himself. It was a pathetic scene, and he knew it. He tried to make a wish, but nothing came to mind. "That's it," he muttered, blowing out the candle with a heavy sigh. "I'm done trying." Hitting rock bottom. The weeks that followed were the lowest point of Liam's life. He quit his part-time job at the diner without any plan for what to do next. Bills piled up, and his landlord's warnings about late rent grew sharper. He spent his days sleeping, binge-watching TV shows, and avoiding phone calls from his mom. One particularly bleak evening, Liam found himself at the local park. It was a place he often went to when the walls of his apartment felt like they were closing in. He sat on a worn bench near the edge of a small pond, staring at the water as the sun set. The soft glow of the evening sky reflected on the rippling surface, creating a momentary sense of calm. "What's the point?" he whispered to no one in particular. But that night, something unexpected happened. A little boy, no older than 6, ran up to him holding a scrappy paper airplane. The boy's cheeks were flushed, his grin wide and contagious. "Hey, mister," the boy said, beaming. "Can you throw this for me? I want to see how far it'll go." Liam hesitated, then took the fragile plane. He tossed it, and it soared higher and farther than he'd expected. The boy cheered, grabbed the plane, and ran back to his parents, shouting excitedly about how it flew like a rocket. For a moment, Liam felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: connection. It was fleeting but enough to spark a flicker of curiosity about what might come next. The wake-up call. That night, Liam couldn't shake the feeling that he was wasting his life. He thought back to the kid with the paper airplane and the joy on his face. What if I could feel that again? What if I could make something? The next day, Liam resolved to try one more time. But this time, he would take a different approach. He wouldn't aim for perfection or compare himself to others. He would start small, with the tiniest steps forward. The meeting. A week after his epiphany in the park, Liam was wandering the city aimlessly, trying to shake off the heavy fog of uncertainty that still lingered. He passed by a coffee shop and noticed a man in an impeccably tailored suit sitting by the window. The man exuded confidence, casually sipping his espresso while reading a thick book bound in leather. Something about him drew Liam's attention. Without fully understanding why, he stepped into the shop. He ordered a coffee he couldn't really afford and sat at the table next to the man, pretending to scroll through his phone. After a few minutes, the man looked up from his book and smiled. "You seem lost," he said, his voice calm yet piercing. Liam blinked, startled. "What?" The man chuckled. "I said you seem lost. I've been around long enough to recognize that look like you're searching for something but don't know what." Liam hesitated, but something about the man's demeanor invited honesty. "I guess I am," he admitted. "I feel like I'm stuck in life. I don't know where to go or what to do." The man closed his book, revealing the title, Principles of Growth and Fulfillment. He leaned forward, his sharp eyes studying Liam. "I'll give you some advice. It's not a magic fix, but it's the best I've got. Develop and work where you really know and love to do it. Success will not wait long." Liam frowned. "What if I don't know what I love to do?" The man smiled. "Then start paying attention. What excites you? What feels effortless, even if it's just for a moment? Stop chasing what you think will make you successful and start chasing what makes you come alive. The rest will follow." Before Liam could respond, the man stood up, dropped a generous tip on the table, and walked out, leaving Liam alone with his thoughts. Diving in. The man's words haunted Liam in the best way. Over the next few weeks, he started paying attention to what sparked even the smallest flicker of interest or joy. He remembered how he used to love drawing as a kid, sketching superheroes and imaginary worlds. He dug out an old sketchbook from his closet and began doodling again. At first, it felt silly. But as he kept at it, something shifted. He lost track of time while drawing, immersing himself in creating characters and designs. His cramped apartment became a workshop, papers scattered everywhere, pencils dulled to stubs. One day, he decided to share one of his sketches online, just for fun. To his surprise, it garnered positive feedback. A friend suggested he look into digital design, so Liam used his meager savings to buy a second-hand tablet and taught himself graphic design through free tutorials. As weeks turned into months, Liam found himself freelancing for small businesses, creating logos and marketing materials. His confidence grew with each project, and so did his income. He began networking online, joining creative communities and learning from others. A breakthrough. After months of hard work, Liam launched a crowdfunding campaign to publish the first issue of his comic book. He was nervous, unsure if anyone would actually support his dream. But within days, the campaign exceeded its funding goal, with strangers from around the world eager to see his vision come to life. With the funds, Liam printed the first issue of his comic and began selling it at local events and online. The feedback was incredible, and demand for more issues grew quickly. He worked late into the night, fueled by excitement and determination, creating new storylines and illustrations. As his audience expanded, Liam realized he wasn't just creating a comic, he was building a community. Fans connected with the story's themes of perseverance and self-belief, and Liam often shared his own journey to inspire others. The return. 6 months after Liam launched his comic book series, his life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. What started as a passion project had turned into a phenomenon. His comic was not only selling out but also attracting interest from major publishers and media companies. Liam signed a lucrative deal with an entertainment studio to adapt his series into an animated show. The financial reward was beyond anything he had ever dreamed of. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just stable, he was wealthy. But amid the whirlwind of success, one thought kept surfacing: the man who had given him the advice that started it all. One crisp morning, Liam decided it was time to find him and express his gratitude. Gratitude in action. Liam returned to the coffee shop where he'd first met the man. He wasn't sure if the man still frequented the place, but he felt compelled to try. The familiar scent of roasted coffee beans and the soft hum of conversations greeted him as he stepped inside. To his relief, the man was there, sitting at his usual spot by the window, sipping his espresso and reading another thick book. Liam walked up to him, his heart racing. "Excuse me," he said, smiling. The man looked up, his face lighting up with recognition. "Ah, the young man from a few months ago. I was wondering if I'd see you again." Liam laughed. "I wasn't sure if you'd even remember me." "How could I forget?" the man replied. "So, tell me, how's life treating you?" Liam pulled up a chair and began to share his story. He talked about how he'd taken the man's advice to heart, how he'd thrown himself into his passion, and how that passion had transformed his life. The man listened intently, a proud smile spreading across his face. "And now," Liam concluded, "I'm here because I owe you everything. Your advice changed my life." "Thank you." The man shook his head. "You don't owe me anything, Liam. All I did was point you in a direction. You're the one who walked the path." Liam smiled. "Maybe. But I wouldn't have even seen the path if it weren't for you." Reaching into his bag, Liam pulled out a gift, a first-edition copy of his comic book, beautifully bound and signed with a personal note of thanks. The man accepted it with a nod of appreciation. "This is incredible, Liam. But the best thanks you can give me is to keep doing what you're doing, building something that inspires others." Before leaving, Liam asked, "Why did you help me that day?" "You didn't know me." The man smiled, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "Because someone once did the same for me. Now, it's your turn to pass it on." As Liam walked out of the coffee shop, he felt lighter, as if the world was wide open before him. He knew there would be challenges ahead, but for the first time in his life, he was ready to face them, not with fear, but with purpose.